Welcome back to We Connect. Leela, tell me, in this day and age, 2010, do you believe that people like yourself, artists of different forms, can actually make a difference in terms of society, in terms of the way we live, in terms of the way we are going as a country, in terms of cultural and the art scene?
Absolutely.
You think?
Absolutely. I think it's always been, you know, each one making that little difference that actually works for India certainly, and for everywhere. It's that teacher of sincerity right in that little class with those little Montessori children that just is the turning point for that child, and so on. You know, it's just a non-stop. Everyone who really cares,
Right.
and I think caring is not just about your work or your own integrity, but also about the larger picture. Is that can you affect more people? Can you do something that is not just for yourself and your own glory, but a little more for the country?
Right. But do you, in point of fact, think that artists in this day and age get the recognition that they deserve?
I think so. I think so. It's been getting better and better, and frankly, the artists are not so hell bent on being recognized.
Right.
You know, like a Shah Rukh Khan, for instance.
Yeah,
I don't think Shah Rukh Khan himself wants to be where he is at times. So I think we're pretty comfortable with you know, our lot, and most artists are really hungry for another artist's approval. Or for their
so you don't
appreciation.
really care whether we like it or
No,
not?
no. But I'm saying the bottom line is
Yeah.
that you want, yes, you want that man in the street to say, it's, you know, I
It's good,
loved
it's-
it.
yeah.
You want your family and friends
Right.
to say that, you know, yes, it was a good shot or whatever. But there's also that thing of, you know, ultimately having the approval of the guru, or you know, the approval of your co-artists
Or
in
your
the field,
peers and
or
the-
your peers, or whatever. So I think it's a bit about all those things. But the classical arts have always been traditionally exclusive. What I think our contribution in our time has been to demystify them, you know, throw that all out of the thing, that you can't know about it, the shastras, everything is so old and such a hoary tradition, and you know, that leaves the common person like us saying, oh God, what am I going to do? I'm never going to know this thing. But actually the demystifying it was one of the better things that happened to the thing. You produce little books where children can get into it. You know, everybody knows, everybody visits temples, for instance. I've always wondered, what is it that a mother says to her child when she's taking her around at the age of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then suddenly they ask the question, what is the Shivalingam? They're doing puja to it every day, and that's what's lovely, is that, you know, these very complex images, these very complex representations of the gods, if you like, or of your mythology or philosophy, they have to be demystified if India is to, you know, have a faith in them, if you like, or just to get a grasp of what it is to be part of this very, you know, long philosophical tradition.
Right. Leela, on a personal note now, let me ask you, where do you see yourself going in terms of your own artistic career, if that's the right word?
You mean the dancing?
The dancing,
itself?
yes, that's it, because we'd always see Leela Samson only as a dancer, irrespective of what else you talk about or what else you do.
Well, I'm always happiest when I'm on stage. I love dancing. I love that experience of it. I'm not very conscious when I'm actually there, but I think it's. I'd be happy to dance till I can dance, and I hope that continues for some time, because I think there's also that other emotive aspect that we all start leaning on a bit. But it's also the more exciting, in some ways, part of the dance. And so I just hope that that continues for as long as I'm able to. But I can assure you one thing, that if I'm not physically, if I don't feel satisfied that I can do it, I'd step off.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, what about in terms of family? You know, your mother lives with you. So how are you able to juggle around all of this? Because this is an absolute full-time job, sitting here, 100 acres, 3 different schools, you know, answering the government. I'm sure it can't be easy at times. How do you cope?
But it's luckily a very non-demanding family. We are a very small family. Both my brothers live abroad. and we see them from time to time. Either we go or they come. Now my parents, it came to a point where they couldn't travel anymore. So we hoped that the boys and their families would come by. But it did put a certain strain on me, but also the pleasure of having the opportunity to actually look after them. It's the small things that I really value, and I love being with friends and just relaxing and not having to put on any appearances, if you like.
Let me, Leela, ask you one last point before I let you go. Your own upbringing and your early childhood, it wasn't really conducive towards dance and all that. So where did this all happen for you? Let's just start at the very beginning as I end this chat.
It was a twist of fate. I really think my father's ADC, when he was commandant of the National Defence Academy.
He was in the Navy,
of
course, your father,
he was in the Navy, but when he was commanding Kalakshetra, the NDA, his ADC was one Lieutenant Rajan, who belonged to Adyar. And when there was this need for my father to go to England for the senior staff course, and my mother was staying back, they were looking around for a school which would be different. Reason was that I was very uncomfortable in convents. I don't know why. Very well. I'd also lost my twin sister just then, so I was not settling down. And he said Kalakshetra, and they brought me here and they said, okay, let's do a year, darling, and if you don't like it, we come and get you. And they came back to get me actually after the year, but I wasn't going anywhere. It was just very comfortable, no uniforms. Suddenly that whole service background, that convent background where everything was uniforms, and timing, discipline, yes, right manners at the table, all the time there was this, that's a no-no, Suddenly I was in paradise, flip off my shoes, climb up trees, walk in the sand.
But dance has its own form of discipline.
Oh, that I realized to my to
your horror, I'm sure.
That actually Kalakshetra gives the appearance of being like that, but actually there's a steely discipline, not different to the services, not different to convents. That's very much part of it.
Right. But anyway, from a little girl right here in Kalakshetra, here we are today with the very renowned dancer and now the director of the Kalakshetra Foundation. You've come a long, long way, and I'm sure, Leela, there's plenty more on your cards. I'm sure we're going to see you doing a lot of different things and bringing Kalakshetra up to a level where we've never imagined it could be. Well, that's all we have time for on We Connect today. But remember that NDTV Hindu is your channel. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, do make that call, 99413 2222. And until the next time, next week on Friday, we'll be right back. You take care. Bye for now.